I just recently read this story about this Nazi. His name was Ernst Goebel. He and his men were executing children one day, but he didn't like the way his guards were grabbing kids by their hair before they shot them in the back of the head and tossed them in a mass grave. He actually ordered his men to stop grabbing the kids by their hair, and I quote, "Kill them in a more decent way." That story sickens me as much as the stories that meat, cheese, milk, and egg eaters love to tell. "Hey, Gary, I only eat free-range freedom eggs. Hey, Gary, I only eat animals who were raised and killed humanely on a cage-free organic farm." There is no such thing as humane when it comes to meat, cheese, milk, and eggs. Humane slaughter, humane rape, humane slavery, humane holocausts do not exist. And if for some reason my aforesaid words and the video we just watched aren't proof enough of the terrorism claims that I am levying against the meat, dairy, and egg industries and humanity itself, I don't know. Maybe the billions of dead, dismembered animal bodies could count as proof. Peace begins at the dinner table with what you put into your body on a daily basis. Good people don't talk about kindness, they practice it. They don't pray about love, they actually give it. I know you have the capability of understanding right from wrong because you all hate people who harm children. Why not despise people who harm animals? It's hypocritical. Why protect one and violate the other when neither one wants nor deserves the abuse? They just wish it would end.
We are all connected. The choices we make affect not only our lives, but the lives of other people. If we use more than our share, we are taking from other people and from those yet to come. In this day and age, in a world of plenty, it is difficult to understand how, all over the world, nearly 1 billion people are going hungry, and 40,000 will starve to death every single day. This doesn't happen because there isn't enough for everyone. This happens because, while people are starving, we are wasting enormous amounts of grain to feed cows, pigs, chickens, and other animals so that we may satisfy our desire for meat, milk, and eggs. The earth can provide only so much food. While the human population is growing and growing, the tiny amount of land on which we can grow food is not. Because raising animals for food takes so much land, water, and other resources, the earth would be able to sustain only about 2 billion people on a meat and dairy-based diet. With a world population of nearly 7 billion people, it's easy to see that we need to find a better way. Vegan choices support a world where all may be fed. Vegan choices require only a fraction of the land and far fewer resources than what is needed to produce animal products. The equation is simple. The fewer animal products we consume, the more people we can feed. If we ignore this simple fact, more and more people will be going hungry as the world population continues to grow. Vegan choices also promote your own health and the health of others. The #1 killers in the United States, heart disease and cancer, are conclusively linked to consuming animal products. Vegan choices work to make these diseases a rarity and refuse to contribute to their escalating spread around the world as animal-based diets are pushed on other countries and upon the poor. Millions of people, instead of supporting the export of disease and hunger, are taking personal responsibility. They are being the change they want to see in the world. Their vegan choices are prolonging and bettering their own lives, easing the burden on the planet, and making a life-sustaining commitment to future generations. Vegan choices conserve land, water, and energy. In fact, raising animals for food consumes so many resources that making vegan choices is one of the most powerful things you can do as an individual to help save the planet. One of the top contributors to global climate change is raising animals for food. That's right. While we're being encouraged to change our light bulbs and drive hybrid automobiles, the United Nations found that raising animals for human consumption contributes to global warming more than all the planes, cars, and trucks on the planet combined. 40% more. To feed and water farmed animals takes enormous amounts of water. To produce just 1 pound of meat requires on average 2,500 gallons of water. A gallon of cow's milk, 750 gallons of water. By simply making vegan choices, you can save over 1.3 million gallons of water every year. That's so much water that being vegan, you could leave your shower on 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and still you couldn't waste as much water as someone consuming an animal-based diet. Many of us recycle paper because we want to save trees. But the number one reason for cutting down trees, including the destruction of the rainforest, is to clear land to grow food for farmed animals. In just 1 year, a vegan saves a full acre of trees, equal to millions of pieces of paper. The billions of animals we raise for food not only use most of our water and eat most of our food, they poop most of it out. In the US, farmed animals produce 130 times more excrement than the entire human population, 86,000 pounds per second. Per second! That's enough to rebuild the Denver skyline every 24 hours out of poop. This concentrated slop pollutes our water, destroys our topsoil, and contaminates our air. We have forgotten that the oceans used to teem with life. Whales and dolphins and sea turtles were common and abundant. Schools of fish were so plentiful the waters would tumble and froth with life. But now, our oceans are dying. Industrial fishing has caused a global decline in fish populations to near extinction in most parts of the ocean. Massive nets miles long scrape the ocean depths and indiscriminately scoop up and suffocate everyone in their catch. Turtles, seals, dolphins, whales, and billions of struggling fish. And industrial fish and shrimp farms are creating environmental dead zones. Massive amounts of concentrated waste from these factory farms smother the ocean floor and choke the life from it. But it's not too late. Imagine a world of clean air, clean water, millions upon millions of acres of replanted forests and flourishing grasslands, thriving oceans teeming with life and wonder, and vast expanses of wildlands given back to nature and the wild animals who used to call them home. Vegan choices work so that all of this may one day again be the world we all share. In order to feed hundreds of millions of people animal products, the factory lines have to move fast. Very fast. In the US alone, every year we kill over 10 billion farmed animals and over 17 billion sea animals. We kill over 3 million scared and helpless animals every single hour of every single day. How can it be that 95% of Americans feel it is wrong to unnecessarily hurt and kill helpless animals, yet 95% of Americans continue to unnecessarily hurt and kill helpless animals so they can eat them? Why the disconnection? It's time to connect. When you make vegan choices, you stand up for the meekest among us, those who rely entirely on your ability to show compassion. You stand up for farmed animals and refuse to pay anyone to harm them on your behalf. You stand up for the millions of wild animals who are displaced and brutally killed to make room for farmed animals and profits. And you help rebuild the wildlands they call home. Most of us have had the opportunity to get to know an animal. When you get to know them, you quickly find out that they each have their own personalities, their own quirks, their own ways. You can tell when they're happy, or sad, or scared, and sometimes we forget that this is true for all animals. And most of us have felt the unconditional love of an animal, that deep bond that seems to go beyond our human connections. We talk to our dogs and to our cats, and sometimes we connect with them more deeply than with anyone else. They love us, and we love them. You can feel that connection again and again by giving your love to every animal, those we call our pets, wild animals, and those who suffer on farms and in factory farms. Make vegan choices to align with your true love for animals. Expand your circle of compassion, and the love will come back to you 1,000 times. Each of our choices in the past helped build the world we live in today. And each of our choices from this moment forward will help build the world of tomorrow. There is a way to build a better world, a world in which we would all like to live, a world driven by the innate goodness of people and their values of justice, kindness, and compassion for other people, for the planet, for the animals. Vegan. Every day you are invited to make choices. Live your values, change the world. It's that simple.
This vegan lifestyle is sort of the solution to so many of the issues that are going on.
We have an important message for America. Break the meat habit, and 100 doctors want to tell you about it.
Over and over until they see the light, show some compassion.
People are getting the compassionate message out using platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Young people predominantly get their news from these social media platforms now. Interest in the vegan lifestyle is now overtaking vegetarian in the UK. 5% of the US are now vegetarian or vegan. Veganism is no longer viewed as a fringe lifestyle choice. It is a moral framework that is searing into the consciousness of huge numbers of people.
Everything you enjoyed before, you can enjoy. You like burgers, we got veggie burgers. You like burgers, we got anything you want. You like ice cream, we got ice cream. Like anything.
Existing companies have switched to more ethical materials, new vegan brands have come out, and media outlets like Vogue have started to promote vegan products. Tesla have confirmed that the new SUV model is vegan. In the movie world, the pro-vegan film The Herd won many awards and is free online for the world to see. And the acclaimed animated film Bear Story, which is about the brutality experienced by circus animals, won the best animated short film at the Oscars. In Finland, many children's daycare centres are going plant-based, and vegan medical clinics have opened up in the US.
Medicine is on the absolute cusp of a seismic revolution in health.
The Netherlands placed a hard limit on the amount of recommended meat consumption, and in Denmark, a red meat tax is being considered to fight climate change, with the long-term goal of applying to all animal products. So in China, the Ministry of Health has urged citizens to limit animal product consumption. In addition, the environmental organisation Greenpeace have started to talk about the benefits of veganism. Although these changes have often not come about from a motivation to care for animals, which is the cornerstone of veganism, they appear to be part of the jigsaw puzzle and will help begin the transition to a vegan future.